I do not want no doctor on live dancing and doing TikToks while I am under anesthesia. So while I am telling you guys all about my plastic surgery regrets, I will be installing a headband wig from Julia Hair. You guys all know that the first step to installing a headband wig is to put your hair in a slick back ponytail. I've done tons of headband videos, so you guys know the drill. I've already done that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I am breaking this video, not breaking it up into 3 videos, but I'm going to talk about 3 separate things. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my breast reduction. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is liposuction. And the third thing I'm going to talk about is fat transfers. So we will start off with number 1, which is my breast reduction. So I have had 2 breast reductions, and my first breast reduction was done on the show Growing Up Hip Hop that I was on. And my reasoning for getting my breast reduction was because my back was hurting. My back was hurting severely. Like, I was getting the little, you know, people need breast reductions when they start to get those marks on their arms because their bra is too tight. Every bra that they put on is too tight. My back was hurting. I couldn't stand up for long periods of time. And I know, like, I've tried to research this, and I know that they're not supposed to be linked, but I promise you, my asthma was so much worse when my boobs were bigger. But the reason why I regret my first breast reduction is because I did not do my research on my doctor. So my first breast reduction was free in exchange for it being on the show. So I kind of let the people from the show find the doctor because they had to find a doctor, of course, who would do it for free, because that was the stipulation. They actually were supposed to pay for the breast reduction, but that is a whole story, and I'm not going to get into it, but a lot of you people want to know why me and Brandon ended up falling out. And that is, I'm never going to get into it, but the show ended up not paying for my breast reduction with the doctor that I was supposed to originally go to. And it had something to do with Brandon, but we won't get into that. So the show ended up needing to find somebody who would do it in free in exchange for being on the show. And of course, I thought that, you know, all right, well, the people, they picked this doctor for me to go to, so I'll be fine. And don't get me wrong, like, they didn't pick anybody that was unsafe. He was a reputable doctor. However, I mean, you guys know what doctor I went to. He's not known for breast reductions. He is known for doing butts. So I went to his office to get a breast reduction, and that's actually really not his specialty. And when you want to do a breast reduction, or even when you want to get your body done, you want to go to somebody that's what they specialize in. It's very rare there's a plastic surgeon that's good at everything. There might be a plastic surgeon who's really good at tummy tucks, but he's not good at nose jobs, or one that's really good at nose jobs, but he's not good at liposuction. Like, you know, like, I know that you go to school to be it, but every doctor, like, has, like, what they're known for. And a doctor that I ended up going to for my first breast reduction just wasn't known for that. That's not to say he's not good at anything else, but my initial breast reduction was not what I wanted. And I made a whole video about this, about everything that was wrong with my first breast reduction. So I don't need to get, like, too much into it, but there were several things about my breast reduction, my first one, that I absolutely hated. And then when I went back to that same doctor's office to try to get it fixed, I felt as though I was basically kind of like being dismissed. Like, oh, you look great. I'm telling you that I don't feel like I look great, and these are the reasons why. It was my my nipple placement. It was still the size of my boobs because they were still huge. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that I was not going to be able to go from an H to a B cup, but I still was huge. And then on top of that, I needed a breast lift. And me going with the advice of the doctor basically said, you need a breast lift, so we're going to pull fat from somewhere else to give you that breast lift so that I can put fat into your boobs, which ended up being a really stupid decision. Even the doctor that I went to the second time was like, I have no idea why he would put fat into your boobs if you wanted a reduction. Your boobs are just going to grow right back, which is what ended up happening. And my liposuction that he pulled to put into my boobs made my stomach uneven. So my liposuction was uneven. So I had to go back to another doctor to fix my breasts, which in turn actually made it harder for me to feel my breast. Like my nipple sensation took longer to come back the second time than it did the first time. Could not feel anything in my right breast at all. I think, was it my right or my left? It was one of them. I couldn't feel anything in one of my breasts at all for like a year. And that's because, you know, once you keep getting your nipples taken off and getting them put back on, like at some point, the nerves are going to be so severely damaged that the feeling just might not come back. And that was what was happening in my case. The feeling in my nipples just were not trying to come back. And then because I had to get liposuction the second time to fix the uneven liposuction from the first time, that caused just even more scar tissue that I have. So I have this really big, you're not gonna be able to see it, but in my belly button, which is where my second doctor went through to fix my liposuction, it feels like a marble. Like it's a really, like you can't see it, but if somebody were to grab me right here, Amy does it all the time. She always plays with my belly button because you can feel a marble, like it's hard. It's scar tissue that you can press between your hands. At first I thought it was a hernia, and then I went to the doctor and it turns out it's not a hernia, it is scar tissue, which you are at a risk at if you get liposuction in the first place. But in my case, because I got the liposuction for my breast lift, which is unnecessary, and then I had to go and get the liposuction fixed, now it's scar tissue on belly button. And I have to go now to get injections to kind of break the scar tissue up. So my doctor is giving me injections to break the scar tissue up, and it might come back. So it's not even guaranteed. I might have to get steroid injections for the rest of my damn life. I think I kind of just covered the first two topics together, the breast reduction and the liposuction. If you have never had liposuction before, I'm here to tell you that this is not something that you can get liposuction and then you can go back to work in a couple of days. Liposuction feels like you got hit by a bus. I do not know how people with regular 9-to-5 jobs get liposuction and then go back to work. At the time, I was not working. I was just doing the show. So I was able to do liposuction and be down for a couple of weeks. But if you have a regular job, you might want to file for FMLA or at least take off for a week because it's going to be hard for you to get out of bed. Now, let's get into the fat transfer. When I did my consultation with my second doctor, he asked me, you know, I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix your liposuction. Do you want me to put the fat that I pull anywhere? And at first I was like, no, but then I said, you know what? I have really severe hip dips and I would really like for you to fill my hip dips in because they're like super severe. I don't care what nobody says. Working out does not fix hip dips. Working out will give you an ass, but it will not give you hip dips. And I know this because I have attempted to do really intense workouts to try to fix my hip dips, and it made my hip dips worse actually. Anyway, I told the doctor that I would want for him to fill in my hip dips. And he said, okay, which I love. Like my shape that my second doctor gave me is amazing. That's not the complaint. The problem is that when I gained weight, my hips spread like no other. And that's the place I'm at now. The video that I just uploaded, the Grease video, the Mykonos one, because I uploaded two Grease videos. It's the Mykonos one, the first one. I know a lot of y'all were in my comments saying, Mayana, you're not fat. You're not fat. You look so good. You curvy, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. But I'm used to being a really petite girl. And when I first got my hip dips filled in, that's what it was. I was very petite with a really nice shape. And now that I am becoming a very grown woman, it's very hard to keep the weight off now. Even harder than it was when I first did this. I was still I wasn't a spring chicken when I first got my hip dips filled in, but I was younger than I am now. Right now, I find it super hard to lose weight and to keep it off. As we get older, our metabolism slows down, and the first place that I always see my weight go is to my hips. Like, I literally, the first place that I see my weight go is to my hips. My hips literally spread like no other. Like, I have mom bearing hips. Can't get down the aisle on the plane because my hips are so goddamn big. I'm being dramatic, but it's very far away from what I'm used to my hips looking like. None of this is to say that I'm super insecure and I'm not happy with myself. I do think that I look really good. I just have goals for my body, and this is not even to say that I would have never done plastic surgery, because I always feel bad for girls that express like, you know, this didn't go right with my plastic surgery, or I wish I would have did this. And people who've never had plastic surgery or are against plastic surgery will cheer for that. Like, yeah, that's what your ass get for getting plastic surgery. Be happy with yourself, blah, blah, blah. When that's not, I don't even think you guys understand that that's not what people are saying. I am not saying that if I had to rewind time, I would have never gotten plastic surgery. That's not what I'm saying. I just would have gone about it in a different way. And this is not for me to tell people to not do plastic surgery. This is literally a video for if you are wanting to do plastic surgery, please go about it a different way. You need to do a lot of research. And I know that everybody thinks that they know, like, oh, I'm doing research. No, you need to do a deep dive into who these doctors are that's doing your plastic surgery, and not just based off of reviews that you see on Google and that you see on Yelp, because all plastic surgery places are going to have bad reviews. Any plastic surgery place, you're dealing with people's bodies, and that's people's biggest insecurity. So somebody or people are always going to be unhappy with doctors. I mean, you need to look into, one, if that doctor has ever had a death. That's number one. Make sure your doctor has never had a death. And when you do your consultation, ask the doctor if he's ever had a death. You can ask the doctor that. Two, you want to always look and see if they are a board certified plastic surgeon. I don't think that people understand that it is legal in the United States for any type of doctor to perform like liposuction procedures. A pediatrician, a dermatologist can wake up one day and say, I want to do liposuction, and they are legally allowed to do that. There are no laws against a doctor of any kind performing liposuction procedures, even though that is not what they were trained to do. Also, I recommend you never go to a doctor that is a social media doctor. And I don't mean it in a way of promotion. I don't even think for some places that Instagram lives are bad, because that is, I mean, we live in a world of social media. And yes, there are plastic surgery centers that want to do Instagram lives and do just certain things that are supposed to be fun to bring patients in. I'm talking about doctors that have patients on the table, actual live patients, and they're dancing and playing music over their bodies. I do not want no doctor on live dancing and doing TikToks while I am under anesthesia. I think that that is very unprofessional. I do not think that that's good bedside manner. I don't care that the person signed off on it. I don't understand how a doctor would even want to dance over somebody when they're laying on a table and their life is in your hands. Educational TikToks or educational lives are great. That's you're doing it, you're telling me the process. That helps me learn what type of doctor you are. It helps me learn about the procedure. But you dancing and playing rap music and rapping and shit over my body while the people that work in your office are recording it, that's totally disrespectful. I do not think that anybody should ever see a doctor like that. Run. I also think that it's very important that you have a very good support system. I don't know, like, people who you love and you think that are there for you will have something negative to say as soon as you say that you're getting plastic surgery, if you decide to tell people. And that's not everyone. I'm saying you will have people that are around you that are supposed to be there for you. And when you say that you've made a decision that you would like to change something that you're insecure about, you will have people that are very negative about it. I have been through it. I work in a plastic surgery office now, so I witness it when people tell me that either their mom or their siblings or their husband or their children have all these negative things to say. And telling somebody, I think that you're beautiful the way that you are, So I don't think that you should get plastic surgery, but I understand if you want to. That's something different than saying you're fucking stupid. Why would you do that? You could die. Our bodies are something that we're already insecure about, and being that harsh with someone about something like that is not the way to go about. It's not up to you to change somebody's mind whether or not they want plastic surgery. It's just up to you to be there for them. You could tell them that you think that they're beautiful the way that they are, but at the end, it's still not your decision because it's not your body. Damn, I think that rant was a little bit longer than what I was actually insecure about. Anyway, I am interested to know your thoughts about this subject and plastic surgery in general. So please chime down in the comments below. I will be writing back as many of you as I can. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Yeah.